that many times and gain that many yards just shows how versatile I think the Mustangs are in that backfield.
Shane Springman also in the backfield. They'll send Martin split to the left and Young split wide right. Martin at the top or bottom of your picture, and they'll pitch it to Williams, and he'll overthrow everybody. Thought he was going to run out of bounds there for a minute before he stopped and put the ball in the air.
Boy, on that halfback pass, maybe that's why they slipped Marty in at that point. He did throw it down there. There were two Norwich defenders and one Mustang down there, and it was just that the defenders got up there and tipped the ball away at the last moment.
5 seconds left to play, first half. This could be the last play. Mustangs on top 13-0. They'll keep it on the ground in a big hole, and I believe that's Springman shooting through down to the 20-yard line before time runs out. So Portage Central, a very dominating first half. They lead it by a score of 13-0, and I think, John, if you had to characterize the first half, I'd say strength is winning out over speed right now.
Boy, it sure is. They're just dominating that line of scrimmage, as you mentioned. I'm sure Coach Knight is very, very happy with the fact that the Mustangs have had the ball most of the time, and you cannot score if you don't have the ball, and that's keeping away from the Knights is exactly what he's wanted to do and what he has done.
We'll be back after we see the Portage Central marching band perform their halftime show, and when we come back, we'll talk a little bit more about the first half and give you the first half statistics. Our score at halftime, Portage Central 13, Loy Norwich nothing.
A little shaken up, but he's not hurt. He's healthy. He could come back. But again, Coach Knight right now is just staying with what's going. You don't fix something that's not broken, so to speak.
Also, we found out who number 80 is for the Knights. He is Derek Pennington, who was listed in the program as number 82. So if he catches any more passes or makes any tackles, we'll be able to tell you who he is.
Boy, that's great.
13-0. Excuse me, John. Our score as we get set to start the third quarter. Portage Central will be kicking off and defending the north goal, and the Knights will be receiving and defending the south goal.
Again, we'll probably look for Bobby Pop to squib the ball some way down there, not get it to the big fast backs, but make somebody cover, or at least one of the what you call the up backs, which in most cases are the slower backs, carry the ball, and not allow the open field type situations where a Tico Duckett or a Miles or one of the boys can really move it.
And they'll kick it right along the ground, and Scott Buey will pick it up, and he'll be stopped as he crosses the 45-yard line. And that's where Norwich will start things. 1st and 10 from their own 45.
We're pretty fortunate up here, Joe, to have an old official like Joe Wilmarth, who is also one of our baseball coaches, here to help us out with some of these official calls. We can run right down and get an expert on a lot of things.
That'll help us. O'Toole will start at quarterback. Again, it'll be Miles and Duckett in the backfield with 10, the wingback. And Duckett will go left side, cuts out and across the 40, 35, and all the way down inside the Mustang 30. And boy, I tell you, there's no substitute for speed.
What an excellent move on the defensive end at the line of scrimmage. He made that little move like he was going to go inside the end, made the end commit, and then with the quickness, of course, that he has, he scooted the outside. That's the kind of thing that the Mustangs have to stop in order to continue to dominate the ballgame.
And that's what Coach Knight was worried about before this game started. Tico Duckett has great speed, and he can break it anytime he touches the ball. 1st and 10 for the Knights on the Mustang 26. And the pitch will go to Miles, and he's got some running room down across the 20. He might get in. One man to beat. Cup can't do it. Touchdown, Loy Norwich. Eric Miles scampers in from 26 yards, and just like that, it's 13-6.
Well, the Mustangs look a little flat coming out of there. That's not like them normally. Of course, you can get your wind knocked out of your sails with a nice run the Duckett had, then coming right back the other way with a Miles run, and it's a ball game.
Well, I tell you, you cannot let up. 9 years ago, Portage Central was at Loy Norwich as Cups comes in to attempt the extra point out of O'Toole's hold, and the kick is going to be no good as it turned out to be a fake. Mustangs smell it out, so they've got that 13-6 lead still intact. But 9 years ago, when I was playing, we were at Norwich, and we had a 3-touchdown lead at halftime. And Coach Knight said, score one more touchdown and this game's over. And we drove down the field and fumbled. Norwich got it back, and they scored 3 straight touchdowns. and they were right back in the ball game. As a matter of fact, we won it with no timeouts left on a last-second pass from Brad Hessler to John Weber in probably the most exciting football game I ever played in. So even though he's got a big lead at halftime, it's never over.
Boy, you got that right, Joe. I can remember that game quite well, and it's just that you can't let up. You can't let up with any of the Big 8 teams, and the Loren Norwich team with all their speed, it showed right there that they can score from anywhere on the field. And
Two
you've got to
plays.
stay right at it.
2 plays. It finally got outside with Tuckett going the majority of that distance, and then Eric Miles. And Norwich will kick it deep again. Cupps with a good foot into this one and fielded around the goal line by Kopp. And here he comes across the 30 and down to the 33 before he's wrapped up.
Well, Matt Kopp showed good speed, getting all the way up into the wedge in a real hurry.
James Rawlings made the stop, so we'll see if that quick touchdown will perk the Mustangs back up. Kopp remains at quarterback. Coach Knight sends Martin in with the play. 1st and 10, Mustangs ball on their own 33. And their lead trimmed to a touchdown.
What they have to do, Joe, is just get right back into their own offense, control the ball, have the ball in their hands again.
In motion is Martin. And the ball goes inside, and we've got a penalty flag as the Mustangs carry the ball across the 40-yard line. Scott Banner in on the stop. They're talking to the Knights. It looks like it'll be against the Mustangs. So what's that one?
I don't remember.
Come on, Coach.
Let's try to look that one up. I would say that they illegally lined offsides, or lined up offsides because of the way that the flag was thrown.
That wasn't the sign I saw.
The illegal shift.
There you go.
There we go. We were close.
You learned something new. It only cost them 5 yards. It'll be 1st and 15 for the Mustangs.
5 yards there, Joe, but it did nullify a good 7-8 yard gain.
Again, Martin will come in motion from the top of your screen to the bottom, and another penalty flag.
It looked like movement, too, in the Mustang line.
So Portage Central not starting out the second half nearly as well as they started the ball game. The legal procedure will back them up 5 more yards, and it'll be 1st and 20.
On an illegal shift there, Joe, what we had was Terry Martin in motion. You can only have one man in motion. The end on either side can move if there's nobody else in motion, so he wouldn't jump offside, but he did move, and that constituted 2 people moving at the same time.
So we'll see if the Mustangs can get a playoff. 1st and 20. And the ball goes inside for a couple. And if we can see who gets up off the ground here. Scott Banner in on the stop. I'm going to say that was Springman on the carry. Give him 4 yards.
Yes, it was Shane Springman on that one.
2nd and 16 for the Mustangs. They'll sweep wide to the right to Kurt Johnson, but he won't pick up much. Driven out of bounds after a gain of a few.
Loren Norwich is fired up right now. They get the quick touchdown. They're real excited. They're playing real good football along the line of scrimmage. That's something they didn't do in the first half.
Askari Mitchell was the big senior in on that stop. Hewitt will check back in for the Mustangs. And Springman will come out on a 3rd and 14. Matt Kopp at quarterback, looking at a 3rd and 14. He'll come with the option. Cuts upfield, breaks one tackle, but he's not going to get the first down.
It looked pretty designated that he was going to keep the ball. The backs were out. He never did look back, Joe, to a pitch van or a dive back. That he made that one step out, and then he was looking for that open seam to try to carry the ball himself.
So the Mustangs kind of knocked back on their heels here.
First punt of the night now for the Mustangs, Joe. And Bruce Eaton, of course, is back there to do the punting.
We'll give Kopp a few yards on that last carry. and Miles and Duckett back to receive the kick. And Norris wants to set up a return, a high kick, that Miles is going to let bounce in front of him, and it'll bounce out of bounds around the 40-yard line. Stacey Young over there to knock it out of bounds.
Wise play by Miles. He didn't quite get under that. When that ball is spiraling like that and that tip starts to drop a little bit, it's going to settle in a hurry. And he backed right off and did the wise thing and let the ball drop and then go out of bounds.
Knight's got a good break that it bounced sideways and not backwards. Sometimes if you let the ball drop, you'll lose 10 or 15 yards.
Boy, you sure do. You want to get up under that ball if you can.
So the Knights, after scoring on their first possession of the second half, have good field position again, 1st and 10 from the 40. The backfield remains the same, O'Toole, Duckett, Miles, and Penn. And O'Toole will roll to his left and put the ball in the air, and it's complete. Close to first down yardage. Hoskins over there making the catch and being knocked out of bounds.
So Randy Buller was right there, but he was right behind Hoskins. Hoskins made the great catch, got his body between the defender and the ball, and made the catch and got that first down.
So Norwich is moving the football here in the second half. 1st and 10 from the 50. Mustangs need to get something going. And they'll pitch it to the right side, and Miles will try and go right, but he is going nowhere. Kalinsky and Norman right there to greet him.
Well, that's back to the Mustang defense of the first half. They had 3 people out there smelling that ball out and being able to make that stop for almost a 5-yard loss.
So it'll back him up, make it 2nd and call it 15, 14 and a half.
They look for a pass here, maybe one of that screen that worked so successful in the first half.
Ken and Saros will split to the top of your picture. And O'Toole drops straight back and looks downfield and fire, and he's got 10, and the ball is picked off. Intercepted by the Mustangs.
Randy Buller on that interception. It was a little bit of a wobbly pass. It wasn't quite far enough. Buller was there, plus another defender was there. Matt Kopp was coming in behind, and Randy just got up there high and caught the ball.
Perhaps the ball that never should have been thrown. Good coverage by the Mustangs, and O'Toole had time to throw that time. But the ball picked off by Buller, and it'll give it to the Mustangs. First turnover on the night for Lloyd Oryx. Mustangs will have it 1st and 10 on their own 25. Martin will split far to the left side. Kopp the quarterback in a double tight end set, and he'll give it to Johnson, and he'll struggle forward for a couple of yards.
You get a little line surge now. They're moving up with the line. The linemen are pushing the Knights back a little bit, and they get that 3 yards, at least 3 yards right there. But Norwich is playing real tough along that line of scrimmage, and their linebackers are holding in there tight, too.
Mitchell in on the stop. Springman checks into the Mustang attack. Pewitt will come out. So our backfield right now is Pewitt, Johnson, and Kopp.
I think we'll see the Mustangs just be patient and move the ball the way they can with that, with just their regular offense.
And the Mustangs fighting forward for a couple more yards. Springman on the carry. Tackled by the middle linebacker, Rob Carr. Doug Roberts checking into the ball game. And Bruce Eaton coming out.
Short 3rd yardage situation. You get the big horses up front. I think that Bruce Eaton is as strong as anybody on the team, and he moves real well. But you get a big guy like Doug Roberts in there, maybe you're going to want to run right over him for those 2 or 3 yards.
3rd and 3, and the quick pitch comes to Springman. He's trying to get outside, and he can't do it. As Buey comes up to make the stop near the line of scrimmage.
Well, that's just bringing that that defensive back right up into the face of the pitch right away. When they make that pitch right away, the defensive back can commit himself. He's a cornerback because he's always got the coverage deep if it's going to be a pitch and a pass type situation off the halfback, and it was just a nice move by the Knights.
They gave Springman 2. It'll be 4th and 1, and the Mustangs again will punt, or at least line up like they're going to punt. And we've got a whistle. An official timeout. Well, Norwich is going to call a timeout. Figure that one out.
Kind of wonder about something like that, Joe, unless they didn't have it quite figured out whether they were going to have a punt block on or if they were going to have a punt return. But early on, when you're going to, in a close game like this, you want to save those timeouts for strategic type situations, or late in the game when you're going to